Welcome to the September 29th tax rate hearing for the Webster Grove School District. In terms of what's going to happen this evening, from now until about 6:30, we are going to cover the tax rate hearing, and then at 6:30, we are going to move to our regularly scheduled board meeting. For the tax hearing, if members of the public have comments they wish to make at the appropriate time, there is a website address that is going to be listed on Pam's slides, and it's also listed on the Webster Grove School District website as well. So first, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the tax rate hearing.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, and all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, so all right. So first item up then is a report on the tax rate for 2020.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So each year we go through this process. We have to have a tax rate approved by the Board of Education by October 1st. The process begins with the district receiving notice of final assessed valuation from the county. After it goes through the Board of Equalization, the district then calculates the necessary tax rate per the state auditor's worksheet. We post the hearing notice. We conduct the hearing, which we're doing right now. Then the board will set the levy at the meeting at 6:30. We will submit the rate to the county by Thursday the 1st, and then the county submits the rate to the state auditor for certification. We'll start looking at the assessed valuation because that is a key number in our calculation. And as you can see this year, the assessed valuation went up again, 960 million from about $952 million last year. That's an $8.4 million increase, or 0.88% over last September. Real estate new construction went up 3.9 million, while commercial construction did not go up at all. It had a 0 increase. And here's just a list of the last 10 years of our assessed valuation numbers. And as you can see, they've gone up quite a bit. The total was 698 back in 2011, and now in 2020, it's at the 960 million. And again, just to point out, if you want to make a comment at the end of this meeting, there is a link at the bottom of each slide, or you can go to our district website, and there's in the yellow box a place where you can click the comment on the tax rate hearing. So here are the proposed rates. So we'll show first from 2019 to 2020 and the difference. So the residential rate was $468.48 last year, recommended this year at $4.67.53. Commercial last year was $548.36. This year recommended at $5.14.17. That decrease is mainly due to the recoupment that the district levied last year. If you remember, we had a recoupment, a one-time recoupment of 34.25 cents. The personal property tax rate will remain the same at 0. That levy remains the same every year because it's calculated a little bit differently than the other rates. The other rates look at the assessed valuation, and if it goes up, the tax rate sometimes will need to go down depending on how much your new construction is. The district is always capped at whatever the consumer price index was at the end of December, and it was 2.3% this year. But when you look at personal property, it does not look at a new construction number from the county. Instead, any increase is considered new construction. So we are able to tax for all of anything that's increased in personal property, we can then calculate the tax rate for. Those rates do include the debt service rate that's recommended at 56.99%. And now we'll go through and kind of break that down. The operating fund blended allowable rate calculated to $4.34.31. It's recommended that the board approve a rate of $4.34.31. and it'll be split out by $2.49.06 going to the general fund, $1.79 to the teachers fund, 6.25 cents to the capital projects fund, for that total of the 434.31. That's a change from last year of 0.0001 penny. If we look at the debt service rate, it was calculated out to be 68.80 cents. When that calculation is done, it looks at what the district needs to make its payments for a year. And we could actually levy 68 cents, but the district only needs the 56.99 cents to continue making the payments that are scheduled in the amortization schedule. So the recommendation is to levy the rate of 56.99 cents. That is no change in the rate from the prior year. Now we'll compare this to the last couple of years by fund. The general fund in 2018 was $3.07. Last year, $2.49, proposed this year at the $2.49.06. The teachers fund has remained constant at $1.79. The debt service fund has also remained constant at 56.99 cents. And then the capital project has also remained the same at 6.25 cents. Then the difference on the recoupment was last year we had the recoupment of 34.25 cents. This year we do not have a recoupment. Last year, if you remember, we recouped 2 years worth. So next year we will look at this again and decide if we want to recoup this year's and next year's. So we'll talk about that again next year at this time. So the total proposed rate is $4.91.30. Then here, just to look at the history a little bit differently, as you can see, it has been steadily going down since 1516, where it was $5.77.68 and recommended at $4.91.03 this year. So when you look at the estimated tax revenue from this tax rate, it comes to just about $46 million. We did change the collection rate in that assumption to 97.5% from the 97.8% that was in the budget, just because of the things happening in the economy right now. I brought that number, that percentage down just a little bit. So that's an estimated 0.12% decrease from the adopted budget, or approximately $51,000. And here, just to give everyone an idea, if you own a home of $400,000, the tax due for the school district portion of the tax bill would be $3,553. $1 million commercial business would be $16,453. And a car with a market value of $21,000 would be $452. And if we look at the use of those funds, they support our educational goals and our programs for our students. They provide services essential to district operations. Property taxes represent about 66% of the district's total budget. And here, just a summary to go over our funds. The incidental or general fund is for non-certified staff salary and benefits, supplies, and support services. The teachers fund is for certified staff salary and benefits and any contracted education. The debt service fund is our principal and interest payments on our bonded debt. Then the capital projects fund is building construction, improvements, equipment, and then lease purchase payments. So now I'll also open it up to any patron comments if we have anyone that wants to comment on the tax rate.
And so Pam, while we're waiting for any comments, in terms of the tax rate, did the amount that we're allowed to collect, does that go up in a non-assessment year? Does that go up by the CPI or not?
It can, if your assessed valuation would increase more, or excuse me.
No, I'm saying, but
yes.
I'm thinking though, the total amount we're allowed to collect across the entire district is based on the total assessed value. Do we then go and apply the CPI to that
Yes.
to work out what the maximum we could, and then we scale it back? And so that's why we have and because the total assessed value has gone up faster than the CPI, that's why we have the slight rollback. Okay, thank you very much.
I just kind of want to restate for anybody that's watching on YouTube is that if you want to comment on the tax rate, to go to the link that's on the screen in front of you, and then you'll be admitted to a Zoom waiting room. And then at that point, somebody will let you in to provide a comment. So give it a few more minutes.
Just whilst we're waiting to see if there are any comments, I apologize, I haven't asked you for this before. Can you give any, Pam, can you give any comments in terms of how the construction is going in comparison to original budgeted plans?
Yeah, right now we do have change orders that are taking us a little bit over on the Hickson project. And I don't have those numbers right in front of me.
No, I'm not looking for looking for that. But other than the change orders, things are proceeding as you would expect.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. All right, I am not hearing any comments on the comments from the public on the tax rate. Frankly, that's not unusual when we have this live. We normally have some people watching, but very infrequently do we have people commenting, especially if the rate's going to go down, even just by a tiny amount. If anybody does have comments that that they would like to make, if they would care to email me afterwards at my district my district email, I will make sure that those are entered into the record subsequently. But otherwise, I believe the procedure at this point then is the board will then vote on this in the main board meeting that's going to be forthcoming in about 10 minutes.
That's correct.
Okay, in which case I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting now, and we will reconvene at 6:30. So if I can have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
No second?
Second.
Okay, I'll leave Sherry to work out who seconded that. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, so we are adjourned now. So if you can bring